What's going on, everybody? We're here for a very special podcast episode. You're listening to the Fantasy Couch Podcast. We are here with Dr. Raj of 3CB Sports, 3CB Performance, sorry. Hold on, I don't think we're live. Are we live? Can you guys hear me? Huh. I don't think we're live. Hold on. Something's wrong. Just a second.
No worries.
Whoa. Oh, we can hear you. Okay, it doesn't say we're live. We'll cut that part out for the audio. It's all good, guys. We're here with Dr. Raj. Very special episode. We're going to be talking about injuries and fantasy football. Dr. Raj, welcome to the show.
Yo, thanks for having me back. It's been a minute.
Give us a little bit your credentials, a little bit background, so people are familiar with you.
Yeah, sure. I got my doctorate at just online. If one night I kind of felt like I'm just kidding. I got my doctorate at NAU in physical therapy. So I've been practicing for the last couple years, and a lot of my emphasis is on sports injuries. So I do a lot of kind of sports injury analysis on my YouTube page, which is 3CB Performance. So feel free to check that out. But I've been in a fantasy league for over 20 years now too. So I have a depth of experience in that regard, and so I like to combine the two.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And I got your Twitter, your Instagram, your website up there. So, guys, go check them out on Instagram and Twitter. That's at 3CB Performance. You definitely want to hit that up. We're having some minor issues with the YouTube, but it seems like we're live. Everyone can hear me. It's all good. We're going to get through it. I'm not able to type. So, let me see. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay. Mock draft at the end if you guys behave. So that's what we're going to do. So, let's just go into the first topic. I'm going to bring up some players, and you guys in the chat, feel free to bring up any players or any questions you may have. Dr. Raj may already know what's up with those players or those injuries. Last time we had you on, it was like we didn't know how it was going to go. We didn't, it was kind of new. And then it was one of our best podcast episodes and people really enjoyed it. And after you did this, did you notice this too? After you did this, a lot of people, in your specific niche started popping up, like fantasy injuries and fantasy doctors.
Oh. Repeat that one more time. You cut out.
After you started doing what you were doing, remember you were asking me hey, is there a demand for this stuff? You think it's gonna work, like being fantasy doctors and stuff like that? Yeah. And then once you were the first one I saw, but did you notice that a lot more accounts and a lot more doctors are popping up doing what you're doing now?
Yeah, especially on Twitter, you'll see a lot of people. There's already one. What's this guy? Chow. He's been doing it for a minute, right? Really football oriented. We do see a lot more. I think in general, you do see medical people realizing that social media is a good way to kind of get their name out there. So for myself, it's less exposure. I do it because I like to do it. It's fun for me to do. So.
Okay. Let's jump right into
answer your question.
Yes. Yeah. I started seeing a lot more pop up. Well, it was fun last time we had you on. Hopefully we'll do better, even better this episode. So first guy I got, Devonta Freeman. Let the people know what's up with him. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, so I have some notes. That's why I'm looking down. Last year he had a bone bruise in his foot. Those can take forever to heal. And then he had that sports hernia surgery, which again, the outcomes on that are pretty good. And I think he's had a whole offseason to train and be ready. And so I'm not that concerned with those injuries popping up again. To me, the bigger concern with him is can he handle being that full workhorse back? Because Coleman's gone. I think they have what they have Ito Smith behind him, who's not really the best option in relief. Find out if he can really handle that workload. Now, if or as you know, when you're the primary back, you open yourself up to a lot more injury risk.
Yeah, they got Ito Smith back there, and then Ollison, who's a bigger back, because Freeman and Ito Smith are fairly small, and Ollison, he's slated to get a lot of the short yardage work, and a little bit of a mess right there. So let's say
Yep.
round 3, do you like Freeman?
I would say yeah. I mean, I would say yes, just because when he gets get really really hot, and what you'll see with Atlanta is that they, like we saw 2 years ago, Coleman was going to have a breakout year, right? And they just kept feeding him the ball. So I would say round 3, the swing around to 4, it could be worth the reward for sure.
I have him more as a round 4. I feel like he's going to be a little limited because they might be a little scared of it. And what's kind of great is he is falling to round 4 in a lot of drafts, and that's pretty good value. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Raj has him round
I agree.
3. I like him round 4. And then this one's got to be like the number one guy. People are pretty torn about because a lot of people like him, but some people like me don't really like him. He just went round 1 yesterday, the other day in my experts league, and he's going round 2
Uh-huh.
ADP, and that's Dalvin Cook. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you said torn, no pun intended, because he's coming off the ACL tear and the hamstring tears. And so I think first things first is with the ACL tear, the next season when you get back, you always tend to have some compensatory issues. So I'm looking with any ACL injury, I'm looking at year 2, and that does bode well for him. The concern is with him, he had that hamstring injury, then he had that, which was a grade 1, meaning it was like a mild injury. Then he re-injured it, which is like a moderate injury, and he missed a lot of the year, right? So the question becomes, I'm always weary of like those of the hamstring injuries because your injury risk increases for another tear for like a year after that. So I think round 1, that's a risk to me. I understand why, especially because they got Gary Kubiak coming out of retirement to help their offense, and he tends to really emphasize running backs touches. But the injury risk to me, man, I think he's a mid round too.
Would you take a mid round too? Because there's lots of options there. There's Odell, AB, Mike Evans, Chubb, Damian Williams. There's just so many options there. So would you yourself take a mid round too?
Honestly, I mean, I think I take him for value in round 3. That's what I
He
would do.
never falls that
The
far though.
hamstring
To be
injuries,
realistic, right? I
he
mean,
won't.
yeah,
No,
he
he
won't.
won't. He
Yeah,
won't. And maybe end of round 2,
if there's no one
but
else you
to
like,
me,
kind of like that type of deal.
yeah, exactly. I mean, if you need a running back, again, he's a high risk, high reward guy.
Yeah, for sure. Because that's exactly how I see their offense as well. Like Thielen was, I read this someplace. I think it's correct. I think it's factually correct. Thielen was wide receiver 1 the first 8 weeks, and then the
Hmm.
last 8 weeks, Thielen was wide receiver 25. And that just goes to show you how they changed their philosophy and everything. And the Vikings are kind of a high risk, high reward. They're not really the right word. Like they're an extreme team on their own. Like they're really, really talented in a lot of places, but also they're really, really disappointing too. A lot of the time, they're always the we need to bring this coach or do this to fix things. Like it's always like something offensive coordinator or the O line sometimes is garbage. So there's so much risk with this team. Dalvin is a guy I'm avoiding, but yeah, I wanted to really get your take on it from an injury perspective, and that's pretty good. So we know he's like he can stay healthy this year, but the injury is super high risk, right? He can get re-injured.
Yeah, the hamstring definitely is. I mean, the ACL is now 2 years removed, but the hamstring actually has a higher risk for re-injury. So I think, I mean, if you can grab him for a value at the end of round two, definitely go for it. Because then you're limiting your risk. Now, if you're going round one, then you're really betting on him being healthy.
Okay, for sure. Okay, next guy we have Odell Beckham Jr., one of my favorite wide receivers. I'm really high on his upside, yet he's only played really a handful of games the last 2 years. And I think the upside is recognizable by a lot of people, but like what's the injury risk with him? Is it any more than any other wide receiver?
Yeah, he to me doesn't really have much injury risk. So if you look at his injuries, like that high ankle sprain, he got rolled up on, right? That fracture. Nothing you can do about that. That's inherent in football. And even that, like he had that severe quad bruise where he got hit really hard. Again, these aren't like non-contact injuries. If you get hit hard enough sometimes, you're gonna have these injuries. And the other positive for him is that he's 2 years removed from that major fracture, which tells me that he's really going to be back to 100% physically, even though he still looked pretty good last year. And then you add on to that the fact that he's now playing alongside some talent, right, in Cleveland. And so he to me will be a top flight wideout.
Yeah, I just watched a very short Eli Manning to Odell Beckham compilation the other day, the last few, and it was disgusting. Uh, it was like he was wide open and just completely missing Odell, and it just sucked because I honestly felt like Odell and Eli had a good amount of chemistry in the beginning. Like I was seeing these throws, I was like, man, these guys are on the same page. But recently it was just the complete opposite. And I don't like Eli Manning that much. I don't think he's a top 20 quarterback in fantasy nor in real life. But I mean, he was worse with Odell. Like they just maybe they
Yeah,
hated each other, whatever it was. Like it just didn't work. And then going to Baker Mayfield, like the upside is just so high. And I'm asking, why did we
huge,
bring up
huge.
Odell? Is because a lot of fantasy owners have worries. Like he came into the league injured, I believe. He missed a few games his rookie year, and he's just been injured a
The
lot of
ankle sprain.
times. Oh, that what it? Do you know what his first injury was? It was somewhat the
I
leg.
I believe I thought it was foot related. It wasn't anything major. Again, when I look at injuries, I look at why they happened, right? And so his big one, like I just talked about, there were contact injuries.
Got you. Yeah. So, man, I kind of I don't know. I might have to trade for Odell in this one league. I would think it because
I mean, yeah, I think to your point, even last year coming off that major injury, like he was getting himself open and he was wide open on some of these routes, right? So I didn't. He was running his routes like his breaks were really really sharp. So physically he was there, but he can't pass the ball to himself. Obviously, I mean he would love to, I'm sure, but
they had to have him throw to Saquon, and somebody replied to me on Twitter with I showed him the video,
uh,
and they're like best throw someone on the Giants has made in the last 4 years, and it's
I
like
mean he has a gun too. Like those videos of him throwing like that 50 yard.
yeah, and so what was going on is sometimes Eli would force the ball to Odell when he was double covered and bracketed. And then when he was wide open, he was not seeing him or just completely missing him. And it was just a disaster. So I like the upside. Might have to trade for him. Might have to get him. Definitely a guy I
I
would
agree.
take early round two. I'd love to take him.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I love Odell. I love his. People get mad about like some of his theatrics, but this dude works so hard, man. Like he really does work hard. He loves playing the game. And dude, with Mayfield, I mean, he's great on those slant routes, middle of the field. And then you have Landry alongside him. The only thing I'm always weary of with Odell is are they going to tilt their defense to him, and is going to be more the offense going to look more at Landry or not? But Odell is a good enough wideout that he can beat that tilted coverage. He's shown it his whole career.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that because there's more in Njoku and Jarvis. They require more
Exactly.
attention than whoever else Odell was playing with. I forgot who he was playing with before Sterling Shepard got there. So yeah, not too worried about that. More focus on does he have his head straight And is he
Yep.
going to be healthy? Because that's the type of guy who give you huge numbers any given week. And okay, next guy. So people in the chat, just to give you a heads up, we'll talk a little bit about Gurley if we possibly can. People want to know about Sony Michel, so we'll try to get to him.
Very, very similar things going on.
Yeah, exactly, with the knee. So we'll get to that right after this. So this guy, Leonard Fournette, he's a guy that I'm pretty much like 100% avoiding because let me just give you a rundown because people always like they name one thing or they think of the last thing that happened. Let me give you a rundown. Leonard Fournette was compared to LeBron James. He was drafted too high, and he was not LeBron James. He didn't test that way on the combine. He's good, no doubt about it, but he's not LeBron. He's not that fast. He's not lightning fast. LeBron would mean you're big, strong, and super fast. Catching, not his strength either. So he comes in supposed to be like LeBron, drafted way too high. And what happens? He keeps getting injured. He keeps getting suspended. He even got benched. A lot of people forget that. It wasn't like a super bad. Like it was like, hey, you're being disruptive, so you're gonna sit out a little bit. But he did get benched. He also got arrested. Something very minor. I think it was some unpaid speeding ticket, unpaid parking ticket. But still, like when you add up all these things, and then you're seeing on a video getting arrested, like it's just not a good look. So arrested, benched. He fights. He got caught fighting against the Bills. All these things combined is why I'm avoiding Leonard Fournette. But what are your thoughts with his injury? Like, does this guy have any chance to stay healthy for 16 games this year?
I mean, firstly, back to your LeBron point, I think what people don't realize about LeBron is, other than this past year where he slipped and had that groin injury, which would happen to anyone, dude, he's been able to reduce his injury risk. Yes, he's been really, really healthy, right? Like he's been in shape. Fournette admitted that he's probably overweight in general, which puts more stress on everything. And then to your point about all the other little things in isolation that you can maybe like disregard, but when you add it up, that bucket's overflowing, right? And so it kind of gives you a profile. And I think he missed 9 games at LSU with the ankle sprain too.
Yeah, injury history dating back
Yeah,
from
I mean
college.
that exactly. Then you had the ankle injury. I think he missed 3 games rookie year, and then he missed most of last year with those double hamstring injuries. And so, I mean, the question becomes, yeah, is he now motivated to stay healthy? Maybe so, but nothing really. To me, I would definitely avoid him. Now there are some positives. He has Foles replacing Bortles, right? So he might not have that 9 in the box to play against. And then also, if he does stay healthy, they have less depth behind him this year. They used to have Yeldon, Ivory, and Hyde,
Well, that's
but now
what
they might play.
sleeper alert. Rock Armstead, the rookie that was
Yeah,
drafted. That's why I target him. In most of my
I mean,
drafts around round 12. That's where I like to take Rock Armstead.
to your point, you have to handcuff Fournette.
Oh yeah, and with Dalvin, guys, I think you can get Madison for super cheap with no Latavius there. Madison should
Mm.
see a lot of carry. I think he'll get some carries. He'll have a very little value if Dalvin is healthy, but he'll explode and be a must start every week. A high end RB2 probably if Dalvin were to go down, and that's a pretty clear handcuff. I think Alexander Madison and Rock, I would say, is a pretty clear handcuff in my opinion. They do have a couple other running backs there, but I like Rock Armstead a lot, so definitely
No, I
handcuff
agree,
him.
and I think when a regime drafts a running back, they have a little more loyalty to him, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, they drafted Fournette too,
Yeah, but
so,
I'm saying, but
but
like that
talking
they
about
were
Rock, yeah.
seeing, yeah, with the Rock, they like drafted him not as a replacement. They drafted him last year, so they might be more willing to give him a little more of a leash.
Yeah, so Fournette, would you take him round 3, which is where he often goes?
Uh, Hell no.
Round 4.
4 on to 5. I mean, Fournette to me has to prove that he's capable of staying healthy, and he has the motivation to reduce his injury risk, whether it's through weight. He hasn't shown that, right? So, um, I would say to me, round 4 earliest with Fournette. It's just too much risk. It's such high risk.
Yeah, I agree. He's a must avoid on my list. I'm not drafting him. Dalvin, I pretty much avoid. And who else do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about Greg Olson, Delaney Walker? Both of them are
Yeah.
age 34, I think.
Yeah. I think Olson, he re-injured that same foot. He has what's called a Jones fracture, which is like the bone on the pinky side of your foot. He broke that in 2017, re-injured it in 2018 when he stepped on someone's foot, which is not uncommon. So we're gonna see how he responds, right? He has a lot of wear on his body. Cam is recovering from that shoulder surgery too. Olsen himself has said he's not sure this might be his last year or not. So that to me might be hinting that, hey, maybe he's not, doesn't feel all that great physically either, right? He's trying to plan it by ear as well. So we're gonna see with him. Um, he's to me again medium reward, high risk. Delaney Walker, I think we might see because he had that brutal ankle injury, which was the first game of the year, so he's now had more than a year to heal. I think if you can get him later on down, he could be a sleeper, but I think so. I don't know if he'll ever drop because someone's going to draft him. I feel like just because based off that potential and how much Mariota likes him. But I think we'll see a very slow start with him because he had that like brutal ankle dislocation and surgery. So I think he might ramp up later on into the season, but early on, I think it's going to be a slow production period for him.
So between what I'm hearing, between Walker and Olsen, you like Walker more.
I think so. I think so. I mean, where have you seen them gone generally for you? Not for you, but in general in
They
the
go
mock drafts.
super late, so they're
Okay.
going
That's what I figured.
like tight end 14 off the board around there, tight end 15, which that means everyone has their starting tight end, and the backups are starting to. So we see Noah Fant and
Hmm.
Hawkinson, the two rookies, sometimes get taken before them.
Okay.
This is my general rule in fantasy is I like to usually try to take some risk and go for the younger guys and the next talent. Like I like to take shots instead of going for older players because one thing in fantasy that's kind of that people like it's something that no one ever says. You're gonna be wrong probably more than 2 out of 3 times. Because I looked at these
Mhm.
draft boards, and you go like, look at your last year's draft board, any draft, and go to a team and say like, how many picks did they get good? On my good teams, I got 1 out of 3 correct. I got 6 good players that I loved, or if I got 7, I'm usually winning the Super Bowl. And
Right.
so you're gonna be wrong 2 out of 3 times. On top of that, older players, they can fall off, they can have injuries, they're thinking about retire because once they get the bag, once you secured the money, it's different. Like it's just a different thing. You can remember that Bills player that just retired, Vontae Davis. He just retired at
Yeah.
halftime.
At halftime. Just walked
I
out.
mean, one reason, and he after he explained it a few times, I listened to him. It actually didn't seem as crazy as I thought. Because at first I was like, no, zero, like don't ever do that. And then at least I understood his perspective. But I'll tell you
Yep.
something, that man has a lot of money. If he was a
Oh yeah.
rookie and didn't come from a lot of money, it probably would have been a different decision.
Yeah, for
Like
real.
you're like, oh
He got
man,
paid at Miami.
yeah, it's like once you like Le'Veon Bell, same thing. He probably wouldn't have held out if he didn't have millions in the bank. So once you're older, there's just more things that can happen. So I usually rather just try to think of the future and take more risk and go for the younger tight ends. That's
I
usually what I
agree.
try to do. And Greg Olson was, I think, a few inches away from hosting Monday Night Football, but I think he would have sucked.
Yeah, he was close.
So
Yeah, I have no idea.
yeah, I don't think he would do it. Cause and then watching Jason Witten was like the saddest
Oh my
thing,
god.
and so he probably he's a tight end too, so he probably had to think of it. How about if I suck like almost as bad as Jason Witten? Like I don't want to do that. This man had to retire from the booth and go back to football
Go
because he
back to
sucked
football.
so much.
Exactly.
Jason Witten's a way better football player than a commentator. Like he's a insta Hall of Fame tight end. He's so good. So yep.
Yeah, I mean, some guys are great at translating it to the booth. I mean, look at Romo. maybe the best color commentator already when it comes to translating the game, right? From what they see on the field to words. Wouldn't there was a disconnect, clearly.
So there's a couple news alerts going on right now. So the Chargers, and thank you for the chat for alerting me. The Chargers have made Melvin Gordon an offer, but wouldn't disclose any details. So
Mm.
it seems like, and I'm reading from the chat too, and just going off of this alert, seems like they offered him a contract, but he's probably not taking it, which is, the beginning of negotiation. Back and
Yeah,
forth.
natural.
Yeah, and I went on the record saying that if I was the Chargers, I wouldn't sign Melvin Gordon, but I don't know what they're gonna do. He is valuable to the team, but I
At what price?
yeah, well, and I give it a 50-50 because there may be like, hey, we need to win now, and Melvin Gordon will help us win. It'll increase their chances. Maybe they sign him. I don't think they
Hmm.
should. They have Eckler, they have Justin Jackson, so they can definitely do well without him, but we'll see what happens. And then in more news, we have two people close to Zeke tell us they believe he'll show up for the start of Cowboys camp, but there seems to still be some kind of chance that he won't. This man cannot stay out of the headlines for like 2 seconds, man.
For real.
Who you taking number one overall in fantasy?
Uh, Saquon to
Same
me.
here. I used to have Zeke ranked number one, but with
Yeah,
but with all
to
this
me it's
stuff, it's like out of control. Like I just can't take this man.
to me it's Quan or it's if you're PPR Kamar or both. I mean that's 1A 1B to me. Kamar won me my league last year.
Yeah, I love Kamara in full PPR. Okay, let's talk about Sony Michelle, Todd Gurley. I don't know. I like to throw in Ajayi in there because I'm weird. I
Yeah,
don't know if he's, but so
no, same thing.
yeah. Someone just told me Sony Michelle's ADP is falling. Like I just had a draft and I think Sony Michelle went already, but I'm taking James White over Sony Michelle in a full PPR league. Like no doubt about it. So what are your thoughts about Michelle Gurley and whatnot?
I mean, so we've seen what Gurley, Jai is the oldest, right? So let's start with him. All three of these guys have an ACL injury history. So whenever you have an ACL tear, you have a higher risk for developing like mild arthritis because the cartilage in your knee starts to wear out faster, and it may or may not. Jai, the reason why he missed some games with the Eagles, who I follow closely, I grew up an Eagles fan, and so you have to manage these guys. Essentially, what happens? They get inflammation in the knee, and then they have to sit out a few games and get out in front of it. That's why Ajayi did well with the Eagles because it was a committee and we did sit him a few games. On the flip side, what you saw with the Rams last year is that they used Gurley a lot during the season. It got to the point where that thing blew up on him during the postseason, and they couldn't get out in front of it. And so every time he would try and go out there and try to put stress through it, it was just too painful for him. And that's why it wasn't some mystery. I made a video on it when it happened. It lines up with his injury history, right? And so Sony Michelle, again, I made a video, same thing. You have to constantly manage that knee because there's less cartilage. Cartilage it absorbs shock, it reduces friction. So when that wears out, you now have more stress going through that knee, which leads to pain, irritation, all those things, right? And so they have to manage Michelle. Now, that being said, Sony Michelle, when he played last year, I had him on my team. He was excellent. The question becomes, how many games is he going to play? Are his touches going to be limited? And then, of course, you have James White there to take away his PPR touches. But all the three of these guys are in the same profile. Michelle, to me, is the youngest. So I'm if there's anyone I drop out of those three, it's Sony Michelle. Gurley's going to be on a limits. They're going to reduce his role during the regular season because they don't want to repeat the same mistakes as last year.
I'm high on Damian Harris and his ADP, and that's honestly the one of the number one things why I do avoid Sony Michelle is because the Patriots
Mm-hmm.
went in round three and got Damian Harris, a running back with a lot of upside, a really good running back, and them spending that type of draft capital on a running back shows me that. Well, I mean, still the Patriots, still don't know what the heck's going on with that
Yeah, I
running
mean,
back, that
they spent a
backfield.
they spent a first on Sony Michelle last year, so
Yeah, but then they go and spend a third on Damian Harris. Is my point.
yeah,
They
yeah,
so
yeah,
and yeah, just Sony Michel. There's no doubt about it. Like if he was healthy and he was
yep,
awesome and his knee would hold up, like that's the man. That's the goal line carry man. That's the running back, amazing in standard. It was actually quite shocking to me that he didn't catch a lot of balls, but that's how Belichick does it. This is not a popular example, but he brought that tight end from the Colts. What's his name? Dwayne Allen. And he was like,
Allen.
Dwayne Allen, you're only going to block. That man didn't catch one
Right.
ball all season. So he's like that. He's like, look, if you suck at this or you're better at this is your job. And he gives everyone a job. And clearly James White's job was, you're the receiving back. And Sony Michel's
Correct.
job, which I mean, Sony Michel could catch great and he has big play potential. But Sony Michel was essentially the quote unquote bruiser, if you had to label him. He's not bruiser type running back, but he played that role. He handled all the carries. He handled the goal line carries. He handled, any runs up the middle. That was Sony Michel, and he did it
Yep,
quite well. Belichick knows what's up. But
I
I
agree.
like Dame. You get Sony Michel maybe round 5. But what about Damian Harris round 11? Oh, don't you like that? Don't you like that little
I mean,
sleeper alert right there?
yeah, I mean, I do like it. One thing I'll say about Sony Michelle, I'm not surprised that he had a cleanup knee surgery. That's to be expected with his condition, and so the fact that he's on the pup list right now doesn't surprise me at all. He missed most of training camp last year too, and it didn't really affect him that much. So I will say with him, if you have a draft that's later on, you're gonna have a much more clear picture of his health than you will right now.
Got you. And then my Damian Harris, I like him, but that may not happen this year. You're saying because Sony Michel is young, and we just don't have a lot of information. Patriots do keep a lot of things secret. So Damian Harris, I might have hit on Damian Harris, but it might be next year, huh? Or 2 years from now.
Yeah, I mean, I think when they drafted Michelle, I mean, they know Brady's only there for what, I mean, who God knows how long he's going to play, but they know his window is what, 2, 3 more years that he wants to play. So now you can maximize that and go get a guy like Michelle, who did drop to the end of the first round, who might have been a top 15 pick if he was healthy, right?
Yeah.
And so, and running backs have an average, I think it's crazy, average career of like 3.2 years, something like that.
Yeah, it's Patriots is bad. So are you able to? People are asking about Julio. So I don't know if you're able to give us some insight about that. So my take with
I'm gonna look it
Julio
up.
is he's able to play a ton of games.
Uh-huh.
He's always nicked up though. It's always a minor injury, a lingering injury. Do you know if he's a decoy? Is he gonna score? Is he not gonna score a touchdown for 11 weeks straight? There's just so many worries I have about Julio. I honestly feel like Julio's never reached his full potential. I really believe that. And if you watch a lot, let's make a Matt Ryan to Julio Jones red zone compilation, goal line compilation. It's not going to look
Right.
good. And everyone always tells he's fast, he's good, he's talented, he's tall. Yeah, but I mean, come on. Then why is Antonio Brown and Odell catching more touchdowns? Like and that's not to say he's wow. He's still one of the super elite. But I just feel like be more healthy, have me have less worries, and work on the red zone and goal line and the touchdowns, and you would be my number one wide receiver.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the touchdowns, especially. What was that? He had like one touchdown through like how many
Well,
games last
what
season? Or like
happened?
2 years ago? I can't
So
even
I looked
remember.
a couple years ago. He had 3 touchdowns on the entire season, 2017, I believe. It's
Okay,
unacceptable. And then last
that's what
year,
that's what I'm thinking
last
about.
year what
That's
happened
it.
was he went about 7 weeks. The first 7 weeks, 0 touchdowns. And then I did a draft, and I did like this, like this ritual thing, and people really believed it. And I was like, Julio Jones. I
Uh
asked for the fantasy gods to give Julio Jones a touchdown, and he got one. And
huh.
people were asking for me to do rituals for them. I was like, no, it's only that one time. So That's how bad it was. I was like, this man's got to he's got to score at one point. Like he is getting yards and targets. He's playing well, so I don't like those touchdown droughts. But were you able to look him up at all and have anything to say about his injury? And I think, is he on the PUP list?
I mean, I don't think so. He's been practicing.
Oh yes. Okay.
That's I read that he's been practicing. I mean, they say the foot injury is not serious, but he has, like you said, he's never really like been healthy.
Like not
So
100%, a little bit
it
worse.
might knock him down. Yeah, he always has something nagging, but then again, like his production is still pretty high, even with all that.
Okay. So this is
And
the news
the other thing we
actually.
have to remember.
So sorry to cut you off,
Okay.
but I want to make sure we got this. So I got this earlier
Okay.
today. So Coach Dan Quinn said Julio Jones' foot is 10 to 14 days away from being fully cleared to practice. There's obviously no rush here. Jones will be ready in plenty of time for week 1 and likely won't play much, if at all, in the preseason. I wouldn't play him at all in preseason. Just have him work out with Matt Ryan at the 10-yard line. That's what they need. The 30-year-old enters the year as an upper echelon wide receiver 1 for fantasy purposes. Jones has missed just 3 games in the last 5 seasons, leading the league in receiving twice. And that sounds like maintenance, kind of? Or what does that sound like?
I mean, to me, yeah, it just sounds like they're ramping him up slowly. That's what it sounds like, which they should be doing, considering he's just getting back. They're just getting back to OTAs and everything. So it sounds like they're being cautious, which I would be too.
Coach.
And I think one thing.
Coach Dan Quinn said Julio Jones' foot is still in the rehab process after sitting out minicamp. Jones reported to training camp. Okay, that's all the news we got. Just wanted to make sure everyone was 100% on that.
They're just ramping him up. Yeah, they're ramping him up.
Oh,
I think one thing to look out.
Go ahead.
No, sorry. I was gonna say one thing to look out for with Julio, which could factor in positively. It's a contract year for him. He hasn't signed an extension yet, so.
Yeah, he said he trusts Arthur Banks that he'll give him the extension. Yeah, contract year. That is extra motivation. Yeah, when I went to Atlanta, I was staying right next to one of Arthur Banks' buildings, and it was just like insane. It was like 300 rooms. It looked like a hotel. That man is loaded. Okay, one.
I had a rotate. I lived in Atlanta for a little bit.
Oh, you did? Oh, cool.
I did.
Cool. Okay, one last one, if we can help us out, because I really want to know this one. This is the last one. Jack is asking about AJ Green, and the guy who, and what's funny about AJ Green, he's always compared to Julio. A lot of comparisons to be made there, and he's like slightly worse than Julio, but the injuries are just such a big deal. I mean, do we draft this guy? Do we have to wait round 4 to draft him? Can we take him round 3? Like, it's just such a huge question mark with AJ Green, who could be a top 12 wide receiver easily.
He could be, but he's had like that. I mean, he's had his seasons ended prematurely, like last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, last 2 years.
I mean, the toe injury. Nothing. Yeah, I mean, last year he had like turf toes, no joke. 2016 he had like a pretty severe hamstring injury, which limited him. Man.
Looking up,
it's always tough to say with AJ.
It's just a huge unknown. Like, you're just like, I don't know.
It's tough. I mean, like you said.
AJ Green is going on ADP right smack in the middle of round 3, 3.07 is where AJ Green is going.
Again, he's to me he's high risk. I don't even know if he's high reward at this point.
Okay, so you can't pass him at round 4, can you?
No. Round 4, the value's too high to me.
Okay, but 3.07, you'll avoid him.
Yeah, I think if it's, yeah, I would say, man, it's such. I think it really depends on who else I have in that position or position. To me, it's positional need based at that point.
For me, it's got to be round 4 because right there you have guys like Marlon Mack. I'm taking Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
Damian Williams. Sometimes George Kittle falls that far. There's just so many other options. Amari Cooper, I'd rather take a risk on right there.
What's his ADP right now?
Amari Cooper is 3.05. But
I mean, pretty much the same. You have to take Cooper over
yeah,
Green.
see why Cooper's kind of like AJ Green in terms of drafting because he's a Cowboy and because he's so inconsistent that some like a crazy Cowboy fan in your league is gonna love him and draft him early, and then
Right.
everyone hates the Cowboys. Other
Right.
than that, so maybe everyone hates the Cowboys and finds a reason to hate Cooper, and he falls around 4, so he goes all over the place. And same thing with AJ Green. Some people love like AJ Green. He's elite. I mean, well, he was 3 years ago. He's elite, so I'm drafting him at the end of round 2 or beginning round 3. And then some people's like, I hate AJ Green, and he actually does fall to mid round 4. So
I mean, if you're doing a mid-round 4, great. But like you said, some of those have. Sometimes it takes people a while to realize that reputation doesn't really live up to the results.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, folks. This is what we're gonna do, guys. For those of you who listen to the audio podcast, we're gonna cut it off right here. We're going to be doing a mock draft, and if you guys want to do mock drafts with us, do them live. Make sure you're subscribed to both YouTube channels, Fantasy Couch and Fantasy Couch Podcast. We will be doing them live. It is open to the public. And first come, first serve. We have a lot of fun. And we're going to do one right now. We're going to make sure Dr. Raj gets in this one because he's our guest. And we got to make sure he's in there. Otherwise, it's just going to be weird. So we're going to do, what do you want to do? 12 team sleeper? Dr. Raj? Sounds good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He demands it to be full PPR because what else would we be doing?
There's no other kind of league.
There's a caveman league and that's it.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
That Geico league.
For you guys listening on the audio podcast, make sure you leave a review. Make sure you subscribe. We're on Apple, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, the whole shebang. And make sure you follow Dr. Raj at 3CB Performance on Twitter and Instagram. He posts great content. All right, guys. Time to mock. Let's do it. For those of you that stuck around all these years. And let me tell you, man, I can't master this podcast game. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. It just feels uncomfortable. But YouTube, that's my domain. I was born for YouTube. I can live stream on YouTube. This podcast, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm trying to produce the show and click at the same time. And it's so awful. But YouTube Live is awesome. It's so easy. Everyone loves it. So
That's great.
it is. We can't all be good at everything, So Sleeper. All right, guys, we're doing it on Sleeper. And I will post the link in a second. Let's leave Greg Olson's face on here. Don't draft. You're not drafting Olson, are you? Are you, Raj?
Top 3 pick, in my opinion.
Top 3 pick. You serious? Are you drafting him or not? No, okay.
No.
But would you be comfortable starting? Let's say you missed out. You made a boo boo or something. You'd be comfortable with Delaney as your tight end 1?
No, I would not be.
Okay.
I would, just because I think he's gonna start the season really slow, so you're gonna eat some bad weeks early on.
Well, what you do is if like Hawkinson, I could.
He had a pretty severe ankle injury.
If you go with a tight end like Hawkinson or Delaney as your tight end 1, make sure you invest highly in a tight end 2. Goddard, anything. And Mark Andrews, those guys are super sleepers.
Absolutely.
Anything because of what and I like that. See, I didn't even think of that. Like Delaney, he could be good. He could stay healthy. Got one more year in him, but that slow start is very imminent because he played like one game last year? Was it something like that? Something like that.
But yeah, he got hurt that first game, which means he has more time to recover. But he had a really bad. I mean, if you're not for the faint of heart, but I can Google image his injury.
No. Well, I mean, it won't show up on mine, but no, we don't want to. YouTube is so strict, man. I don't want to risk it. No swearing, no gruesome. I'm about to look it up. I'm about to look it up after though. Delaney Walker's injury, man. I forgot.
It's one of those, like,
I think it posted it, but I forgot about it.
It's like Alex Smith's where it's dangling in a different direction.
It was like that bad?
Yeah, complete dislocation. It
Damn.
wasn't as bad as Smith, clean one.
Oh, okay, but it was something
Yeah,
gross
Smith. I mean,
though.
Smith had like it was two of his bones completely.
Yeah, that was a tough
Yeah, Smith's
one.
was higher up, like middle of his leg, so he broke both. That was nasty, man. Then he had a bunch of infections afterwards, so it's not fun.
Okay, let's make it 16 rounds. Okay.
Are you sending me? Are you,
Oh, I'm still I'm setting it up. So we want to make it 16 rounds, 12 team, full PPR, and let me email you the link so me and you can get in. What position do you guys want me to draft from? Let me know. And let me email you just a sec. Okay. I sent you the email link. Hopefully you got it. I don't know if that was the right one. I'll send you another
check
one.
your right.
It should be, but just in
It's all
case.
good.
Oh, there's a better link. Both should work though. Okay, got it. 12 team.
Okay.
Okay, and then you go ahead and pick your spot.
One sec. I'm trying to find this link. You sent it to.
The email you text me.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
They both just came through.
People are telling me to go
Yeah. They both just came. Both the links just came through. Right
53749.
mid.
That's what they're telling me. I'll go with the grossest one.
I'm not going
5.
Okay. I'm gonna claim 5. I'm doing tail end.
Okay.
Double.
There's the link, guys. The link is in the chat. Go join right now.
Prepare myself.
First come, first serve. Oh, that's you right there. LA to Philly. Okay, you guys are in. It's filling up.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
People actually tune into the live stream. I like this because these guys tune in the entire time. They listen the entire time, and they get rewarded with what they want the most. So that was cool.
Awesome.
Let me know in the chat,
It's
guys,
awesome.
if you guys appreciated Dr. Raj, and if you guys want me to have him on again. And what I'll try to do if we do have him on again, you guys will hit me up via social media or from another podcast, and then I'll get the questions to him beforehand so you can make sure to have the injuries and take a look at him before he hops on. One more spot, guys. Is Dr. Raj an actual doctor? Yes. Yes, he is. Says, I want him on again.
Yeah, I just slept at a Ramada Inn last night.
That's your credentials now. One more spot. Come on, we gotta have one more.
Slept at a Holiday Inn last night.
One more spot. Oh man, we only have what? Dr. Raj looks like a skinny Mike Mattal. That's good. I think that's a compliment for you, Dr. Raj.
Is it? All right, that's cool. I'll take recognition.
Yeah. Dang. Now one more. We need one more spot, guys. So if you guys want, I know there's more people.
There it is.
Okay, there we go. We got in. All right, guys. Let's start this. Let's mock. I'm kind of excited that Raj is mock drafting with us. I asked him before. I was like, "Hey, do you wanna maybe mock draft?" Like, I didn't want to be like, "Man, it'd be so cool." And he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." I was like, "Awesome." So let's begin, guys. Pick fast. Come on. Don't let this take 70 minutes, guys. Come on. Be gentlemen, and we all pick fast. There we go.
Just close your eyes and pick if you really need to.
That's what people did last night. Okay, let me fix the window for you guys.
Who's this guy taking forever? Come on. I'm just
Oh,
joking.
that's me. Oh, I didn't even know I was up.
Come on, bro.
There you go, DJ. Thanks for letting me know, dude. I'm trying to
No worries.
show them the window. Okay.
I figure you're busy.
No, I want to pick and then I have plenty of time to go back to what I'm doing.
Yep.
Okay. So what we like to do is that we do two mocks at once sometimes. And
Okay.
then I need Mike or whoever's there to tell me like when it's my turn because I'm trying to podcast and do that. I think it's a crazy strategy, man. You should definitely try it. You do mock drafts, right?
Yeah.
So
Typically.
try to do two.
Although my big. Go ahead. Sorry.
Try to do two at once
All right. Interesting.
because it really helps you. Like, if you can do two at once successfully, that means that when you got the real draft, it's gonna be a piece of cake. It's gonna be so
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
You know.
But I think a big thing that you see, it gives you a little more sample size for what people are valuing or not,
What was
like
that?
strategies. It gives you more of a sample size to see what people are valuing, like what are other people's strategies.
Yeah, it's more of a real life type thing. And what's cool about mock drafts with us is all 12 of these people are dedicated. They're hard. There's going to be no auto picks or hardly any auto picks, and no one's drafting like Johnny Manziel and leaving the draft. So they're very competitive mock drafts.
Mm-hmm.
All 12 of these people in here are from the live stream. Like there's no computers, there's no randos, and they're all playing hard. James Conner, another guy I'm avoiding. I'm afraid of the committee. I'd rather take Jalen Samuels around 10.
That's fair.
But he's dope though. Like
Oh, he's solid.
if he gets his touches, who would I have? Well, definitely wouldn't have took Melvin Gordon, not Gurley. That's tough. At that 12 turn, I think you almost always want to go one RB, one wide receiver.
Yeah, I wanted Odell so badly.
Oh, he got sniped. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he got sniped right before me.
Dang. Okay. Yeah, and I think Odell Juju would be very interesting, but then you're real. And there's just no running backs when you
Yeah,
at
I'm on the come
312
around.
because you may not even be able to get an Aaron Jones or carry on, and now you're
Mhm.
like super screwed. There's just nobody
Yeah.
there.
I mean, if Gordon's situation was clear, he probably would have gone earlier, and then one running back drops to me.
Yeah. Oh, people are saying Mix. Yeah. So by the way, I work with Joe Mixon. I filmed him working out and whatnot, and I'm
Oh,
high.
dope.
I'm high on him. So that's my top 7 RB, I believe. Right? Yeah, number 7 RB. So I went with running back, and I'll get my Mike Evans here.
There you go.
Top 9 wide receiver. Kelsey went a tad late, 2.9.
That's not bad.
And it usually goes like 2.7, 2.6,
Yeah.
around there. Yeah, Kelsey always. That's a guy who always goes at the same spot. You know, we're talking about Cooper and AJ Green going all over the place.
Yep.
Kelsey always goes mid-second round. I've seen him go 2.1 sometimes. That's rare though. This is cool. So this is your first time on Sleeper, huh?
Yeah, this is
It's
dope.
dope, huh?
It's really
They're
sick.
really crushing, and they're still new. They're still like working out some glitches and bugs, but like they're on it because what's cool about Sleeper is that, and people ask me like, hey, why is Justin Jackson ranked 307 on ESPN? I'm like, ESPN slash ABC slash Disney has about 1,000, at least, no, over 1,000 things that are more priority than some free fantasy football rankings. I'll
Right.
tell you that. Sleeper,
For real.
they have one thing, and it's fantasy football, and that's it. And so they don't have it right now. They'll likely get it right within a week, within a day. Like that's how dedicated they are. Brain.
Yeah, I mean that's their only priority.
Yeah, that's all they got. And so this is
That's
why
all it.
it's so cool. We had some sleeper employee in one of the live streams a couple weeks
Oh,
ago. It
really?
was cool. Yeah, it was cool. That's how they, that's how they are. They see me tweet about it and they're like, "Hey, it's
Sick.
me, Daniel from Sleeper." I was like, "What?" I was like, "That's hype.
That's sick.
That's dope." Mahomes went.
That's sick.
Oh yeah, it was so cool.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm gonna go. Oh man, I'm scared of this news with Taylor Lewan. Oh man. Wait. Oh, there's my guy. I'll go Kittle.
Damn. That's what I want. He wasn't gonna drop though. Someone was gonna take.
I'm high on Derrick Henry this year, but full PPR, and there's news today
Whew.
that Lawan Taylor could be suspended 4 games. He took a substance, and he swears he didn't know what was in it. He did a video where he was crying. Like, I honestly believe the dude, but it's just a shame.
And everyone says that.
But there's a video of him saying it, and he's crying, so that makes it more believable,
I
right?
feel you. I feel you.
No, I believe him, but it's like, like you said, everyone says
is.
that. Like, how do we know?
I mean, whether you did it or not, like you gotta know that there's no way to prove. How do you prove if you knew it or not?
Yeah, and that's the thing is, when I kick it with a lot of NFL players, like anything where they don't know, they just contact the office and ask them.
Exactly.
Or what you gotta do is you gotta like have a source, like kind of like if you're opening a business or something, and you gotta have a lawyer tell you like you can do this, you can't do that. And so that's what you need to do as an NFL player. Okay, I'm going to drink this today. Can you double check this? Can you make sure it's good? And there's resources out there, and most players have a ton of money. So you got to know this stuff. Yeah, it sucks.
You have to, man. You have to.
Did I say Taylor
That's your
Lewan?
life.
Is it the other way around? Is it Lewan Taylor? I don't know. I suck with names.
I thought it was Taylor Lewan.
His first name sounds like his last, and his last sounds like his first. That's all I know. And he's the left tackle for the Titans.
There you go. I mean, there's a Taylor and there's a Lewan in there. Order, we're not sure.
Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. He's a good left tackle, though. It's not good. Dr. Raj is on the clock.
All right, end of the third. Got to take him.
Be cool if you just only drafted players we talked about.
Yeah. Let's see who. Oh man, this is a tough pick. The alien's gone. Should I go with him? No, I can't do that.
Taylor Lewan takes a polygraph test.
Oh my gosh.
He said he passed it, by the way.
That's great. I guess. I didn't really like my options there.
Drafting at any turn, even the first or 12th spot, it's tough.
Yeah, that's why I did it, just to put myself in that situation.
It's very tough. So yeah, oh yeah, we did I say it's Taylor Lewan, and I don't even remember what I said.
I think you did. I think you were right.
I don't know. I knew I didn't know, and I just guessed which one's first when I was talking.
You had a 50-50% chance.
I got a cool team. I like it so far. These next 2-3 rounds are gonna be crucial. I got DJ, Mike Evans, and George Kittle. I love it.
Solid, man.
Yeah. I think if DJ's just does well, I would be very confident in this fake team. So I don't really have much worries in Mike Evans or Kittle.
Yeah. I really wanted Marlon Mack. Man, he looked so good last year.
Yeah, and that's who instead of Kittle, I was between him and Mack, and I was like, man, I'm so high on Kittle that I'll take him always in the third round, like 100% of the time.
Yeah, he's a beast, man.
And what's really cool about Kittle is 2017 he was irrelevant, nothing. He was pretty much garbage. 2018 blows up, and I think he can take another significant leap forward in 2019. And that's how I draft. I'm going for up. I'm going for
Yeah.
first place. Like he's
I
so
mean,
talented.
he is incredibly, and he only got, and if Garoppolo comes back healthy too, right? He was beasting with the backup quarterback.
Yeah, a third string quarterback there. Yeah.
Well, actually, he won me a game. What was his name? The third string.
Nick Mullins
Yeah, he
actually
won me a
didn't
week.
do bad. Like he's
No,
pretty good.
he won me a week in my fantasy league, which was great.
Dang, I don't like any of these
Super.
running backs. Gross.
Yeah, it's not great. I do wonder about Ingram. What's the running back situation like in the Niners? Speaking of Kittle,
So in fantasy world, everyone's going for Tevin Coleman. Like 99% of people going for
people
Tevin
love him though.
Coleman.
In general.
Yeah, I like him. I like Tevin Coleman round 7. Round 6 is okay, but that's just the type of situation. They have 4 good running backs. You have
Yep.
Mostert, who's a special teamer. You have Matt Breida, who did well enough. I think is more of a system, but he did really good. Like people that
Yeah.
started Matt Breida in fantasy know what I'm talking about. And they have Jerick
Uh-huh.
McKinnon, 1 year removed from that ACL injury, which I think is significant. And that's, why I know that because with last time when you came on the podcast, he's a guy who relies on his cutting. He's a running back. He's a quick guy. He catches the ball, but he just had his ACL. It was like around week 4 preseason. So what does that put us with this ACL? Like your thoughts with McKinnon?
I mean, a big thing we're going to see with him again. I would pay attention to how he's doing in camp. That's one of those things where it'll become clearer again as we get more detailed information.
So does he have that burst? Can he cut and move? Those type of things.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you said it. Especially like you said, they have 4 talented running backs. So if he's showing any signs of wear or not being as great, right? Why would they go with him?
And I think
They have no reason
regardless,
to.
let's say he looks 100%. I think he'll be limited and he'll be a third down back regardless.
Even then,
Like why would you because
yeah,
Shanahan's
exactly. I'm
like,
saying
I want this guy, and he went and got Tevin Coleman. Like I just don't see him like, okay, I did that. Shanahan's gonna go out his way and do that, and then make McKinnon the workhorse. Like McKinnon's hardly a workhorse anyway.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But having him get some touches and snaps does make sense. Having him as essentially like a third down back, kind of like Tariq Cohen or something, like the way he was used. Probably that's his upside,
Right.
not even his. Yeah, like Tariq Cohen's production would be a dream come true for Jerick McKinnon owners.
I mean, that's like yeah, the dream,
Yeah.
like you said. Someone went with Cup, huh? Coming up with the ACL.
Oh, what are your thoughts of Cup? Because I hate him. I'll tell you right now.
Is that generally?
No, just
No,
the
I mean,
ACL. That's all. That's just the ACL
no,
injury.
he injured it mid-season.
Week 8 to be exact.
Yeah. So literally mid-season.
Yeah, right there.
And so, man, that's a tough one because he's another guy who relies on that start-stop ability, which is one of the last things to come back after ACL injury. I think that's a bit early for him.
I should have took Mac round 3. Man, this sucks.
There's no running backs, bro.
No, there's some I just hate him at the round 5. Like Tevin Coleman, I was thinking of taking. I'm not taking him round 5 ever.
Yeah. But positional need sometimes wins out.
Someone said, Cooking with Curry says, "Oh snap, LA to Philly. You always post on r/NBA on Reddit. Dope. Is that you?
That's me.
Oh, that is you. Okay.
Yeah, that's me.
That's cool. Yeah, Dr. Raj posts a lot of NBA injuries, even soccer, huh? Basically everything.
Soccer, NBA, NFL. I did an MMA one recently, which is kind of cool. I did. I mean, now on Reddit, like people like message me and be like, "Yo, can you do this for me?"
Oh, that's cool, man. That's dope.
Yeah,
Just industry, just the everything's really changing content wise. Not just our industry. Everything's just
absolutely.
changing so much, and everything's going more towards free and personal. You know, like instead of some doctor on TV, Doctor Oz or Doctor Phil, you know, talking about something, like I could just message Doctor Raj on Reddit, be like, "Hey, can you do this?" And you know, the next day maybe he writes an article or something. Like that's everything's just
Yeah.
changing so much, changing for the better for people like me who are content creators and multimedia producers. I love it.
No, no, I love the back and forth that you can have with people, right? To me, it's a conversation, which is the most fun.
Oh yeah. So I just if you want to check it out anytime, I did my yearly video. Is probably my biggest video. Instagram Experts League draft video. We released it yesterday. So if you want to check that out, it's a pretty intense video. It's I kind of started a trend, a Let's Draft trend, and a lot of people are doing that type of
Nice.
video after that.
Ah, damn.
You wanted Jarvis?
No, 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 no. I was looking at OJ Howard. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll go with it. The mock draft's my boy from Cal, so
That's not bad.
ugh,
Round
it's not
six,
bad at
essentially.
all. Man, I don't know how I feel about Drake right now.
I don't know if you have
Hmm.
another choice if you want a running back.
Yeah, let's have a flex option.
Delaney's available. You need a tight end.
That he is.
Uh,
Oh, let's go with it. It's all good. So that's why it's a mock draft. You learn your lessons. I actually want to see AR with one new coach, but also I mean, he was playing through that MCL injury last year,
he messed up
and he
his
still had a pretty
knee so bad,
decent.
and he was just a shell of himself. But like
Man, he still had a decent year with that.
he's been injured the last 2 years, Rogers. So you think that
He
has
has been cut.
anything that would increase his chance of getting injured again? And now he's 35, right?
Yeah, but he takes care of himself pretty well. His stuff's been contact injuries, so
Mm-hmm. But it's been two though, with the collarbone,
it's too.
and then
Yeah,
they
yeah,
changed
yeah.
the rule,
Yeah, I know.
and now we got that the knee injury. Somebody hit his knee. Is that what happened?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Backside. So I should have probably looked more into his O line situation. I don't know enough about it, but
They make that O line work every year though.
they do.
They
They do.
really
But
have always have a good O line.
they do. But some of that is also based on his mobility and his dude. I mean, his release is so quick.
Oh, Tevin Coleman went. That's who I wanted.
Just yeah.
Because I need a running back.
Who's left right now?
This is
Hmm.
pretty competitive, huh?
Yeah, solid. I like it.
See, that's why it's like, when you do a mock draft just randomly, it's going to be crappy. It's going to be a bunch of auto picks and stuff. Like these guys, this is like a real draft. Like it feels like a money league right now.
Right, right. Actually, my big money lead is an auction draft, which is a whole different thing.
Yeah, it's not even. Yeah. We do those too, but those take too long. So we
Yeah,
don't
no,
do
I'm
two.
not. I would have said no to that.
Like, dang, yeah, maybe next time.
I do one of those a year. That's all I got in me.
Yeah, it takes so long to do it.
4 hours, man.
Oh, there's nobody.
There's no one. What do you need?
I mean, I want running back.
You got to flex.
Uh,
That's going to be an interesting play as well. With Carson coming back, right?
I don't like
One,
Alshon, but I don't know.
that's what I mean. I mean, some of us are going to rely on what Carson's doing.
Alshon's a guy who's always hurt too a lot of the
Yes.
time, and then Carson's always hurt, and now there's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
the backup to Carson Wentz is
Oh my God. I was just thinking about it right now. What's his name?
trivia question.
Oh
I
my
looked
God, I
it up
know
a
it.
couple weeks ago and I already forgot. It's someone not
Dude,
good.
no, I read a whole thing on Carson yesterday. Nate Sudfeld. I just came to
Yes,
me.
yes. Yeah, so that's why I don't like Alshon. But I felt like it was between Alshon, Allen Robinson, and Sterling Shepard for me. Because I just didn't like a lot of those running backs.
I hear you. Even Geis is it. We'll see what's up with him.
Oh, gotta avoid him, man, because he's got that hamstring injury. They say it's not a big issue, but ACL, then hamstring. You got AP there, Bryce Love, Chris Thompson.
There's too many people waiting.
Yeah, and it's Washington too. Like, when have they done
I avoid,
anything good?
I avoid them like a plague, man.
They are a play.
You just never know.
So I think I'll make a YouTube video, the top something cursed teams, one of those type of top list videos, and Washington's got to be number one.
For,
And then I was like, who's
absolutely.
close to Washington? And that I was like, Chargers and Lions as far as NFL. Just not on the not on the level of Washington though. Jared Cooks, you like that
Agreed.
tight
Oh,
end.
who's available at tight end? Oh man.
Oh, you're done now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. Oh, there's one. There's one left that I like, and I'm not looking at the list.
Oh,
Oh no, there's two that I like actually.
I might just have to go with one of our boys, Delaney or Greg.
Oh no! Don't do that. Oh, it's my turn.
You? Baker, good pick.
Yeah, I would have went with Baker or Deshaun Watson right here if they were available.
Yeah. Yeah. Then as I knew for me coming back, I knew they'd all be gone. Ooh. Damn you. Ooh, never mind.
You got one
I
more.
kind of like Vance.
You got one more tight end left according to my tiered rankings.
I know. I wanted Vance.
Notorious Fantasy Team 9 and need a tight end. So if they're smart, they'll take them.
Come on.
I have communication with Sleeper. I'll tell them they need to so 60 seconds I think is the fastest you can make it. I need to tell them to make it. My ideal for a mock is 45 seconds.
Yeah, honestly, I was
Yahoo's 30 seconds. That's why we love it on this channel because like I'm streaming it, like you don't want it to get boring.
right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. 30 to me is perfect.
But
for a mock.
I'm not good with 30 though that much because I'm streaming it. But we do Yahoo like 30 is still dope. Like that is ideal. But if I had to set this and I had any time, I would make it maybe 45 seconds, just so I have enough time to stream and talk to people and don't get sidetracked. But yeah, 60 is slightly too slow.
Yeah.
ESPN's I think is 90 or something. That was him, by the
Oh
way. In
my God.
case nobody
I
figured
know,
that
I know.
out. Njoku, love him this year, man. Top. I have him as my number 8 tight end, I think, but he can easily be
That's who I want.
5 or 6.
That's who I wanted.
What about Cam Newton? I hate Cam Newton. Now that's a guy I just straight up
Woo.
hate. And then the injury. Don't worry, we'll
I
talk
hear you.
about Cam Newton after your picks.
It's an interesting pick. Oh man. I gotta wait here. Okay. All the tight ends. That was the last guy I wanted. So. Yeah. Latavius and NO. Nah, can't do it.
Latavius is so overrated in drafts. He goes round 7. Like,
Yeah, it's too much. What injury did I'm trying to remember what injury Fuller had last year. I'm gonna just damn. Oh, let's do. That's just a desperation one.
that's one that's like high upside, high injury risk. It's something with his legs. I don't know. That man
Yeah,
can't even stay healthy.
That's what I'm saying. Ooh, not that. Man. I hate these running backs. You got a little hot. Let's see what happens. This is going to be a reach, but.
Rojo, I had him queued up actually.
I don't even know their did you? What's their draft, their depth chart at running back like?
Peyton Barber has been the worst starting running back for his recent memory. And then they got Rojo, who's looking better, gained 13 pounds of muscle. And they drafted a running back. His name starts with B. Ben, who is it? Bruce Anderson. That's who they drafted, I think.
Okay.
Or he might have been
I don't know enough about him.
maybe undrafted free agent even. So he was not highly touted. So that's why people like me like Rojo. He's got a big chance to be the starter in Tampa Bay and maybe even a workhorse or get a lot of carries, 15, 16 plus carries.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, someone's telling me Bruce Anderson was a free agent. Yes. Yeah. Was undrafted free agent, I believe.
Okay.
So yeah, I do like Rojo. I love Rojo round 9. I would have took him round 8 right here. Okay. MVS. That's what I'm talking about. You guys know what's up.
Okay.
Someone took Royce Freeman and Latavius. Dang, you guys are sneaky, man.
In 8, you kind of have to.
I'm going to change it up. I'm going to go with... Let's go with Russell.
I like that. How do you feel about Kyler this year?
I draft him a lot of times. I feel like I'm not worried about anything else really other than him taking unnecessary hits and assuming he can avoid that. So I'm not worried about his height per se. I'm worried about his size and taking those hits. I think with the amount of pass attempts they will throw and his bonus rushing yards, I think that's a steal at quarterback.
I agree. We're gonna see how Kingsbury with that offense, right?
Yeah, but it's like even if he kind of sucks in real life, he can still be a good fantasy quarterback.
A fantasy quarterback. I agree. So, I mean, they still have DJ there too. I mean, it's not like there's like devoid of talent either.
And then they went and got like 6 wide receivers.
did. What's the O
It's
line like? 'Cause, dude, I
not
mean, no,
good. Not good.
that's but see, people say
Come
Rosen.
on.
I think Rosen's. I mean, to me, he has all the qualities of a good quarterback. He had no time to throw.
Yeah, I don't really like Rosen though. I thought that was a bad draft pick.
Really, and I saw him a lot at UCLA. I
He's
like.
look, he didn't have a chance. You're correct. But watch what happens with Kyler. Like I bet it's gonna be way better. Like it's
I
just
agree, but saying with Rosen, didn't they fired the O coordinator halfway through the season? They got Leftwich, and you saw him actually take a leap, right? And that's with no O line. So it's tough for a rookie quarterback in general. But then you talk about going through two offensive coordinators in the same year with no offensive line. DJ coming off injury, like he was set up for failure.
yes. But when he said, what did he say? Like, oh, the 9 teams, the 10 teams that passed on me are gonna regret it. I like Darnold, Baker, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen better than
I
Rosen.
didn't see enough of Josh Allen to really speak on it. What I saw from Rosen, he makes some really good reads, but he needs protection, right? He's not one of
Yeah,
those guys who's in a kind of fine time in the pocket. That's just not him.
yeah. Well, we'll see. I like Kyler, but if you draft Kyler, guys, make just like if you don't get a top 9 or 10 tight end, make sure you invest highly in a backup as well.
Yep.
Or actually, often Kyler will be the backup for your squad. Smitty is in the building. Yo, fellas, Brain and I are conducting this George Kittle hype train. Yeah, all aboard. Who's aboard? Raj, you aboard? Kittle hype train?
I'm aboard. I'm aboard,
All
man.
right, who else is aboard in the chat? Let's hop on the George Kittle hype train. Top 2 tight end, number 1 tight end in Dynasty, and could be number 1 tight end in redraft. Don't sleep on George Kittle. This type of growth I really saw. And you know who else has that type of growth was Tyreek Hill. Because his first year in the league, he was basically a slightly better Tavon Austin. And then his second year, he was like, oh man, this guy can make huge plays. And then year 3, super elite. So it's like, man, and that's kind of how I see with George Kittle. Nobody, super elite, and he can still improve this year.
Absolutely. I mean, that was his first big year. So.
Oh, my turn. I'd draft George Kittle right now if I could twice. Let's go. Dante Foreman. Can you talk about this guy that I'm drafting? 2 years removed from Achilles injury, I believe, is the correct.
Yeah. Most players, it takes at least 2 years to get back.
For real, it's just one of the. It's like one of the worst injuries.
It's possibly the worst, and other than tearing every ligament in your knee or something. But Achilles injury takes time to get back from. All the research shows if you can make it through your second year without a re-injury, or that it's really that third year even where you get back to your previous level.
Dang. And then competition there is Lamar Miller, he's not bad, but he's not good either. He's just there.
I mean, he's nothing to write home about.
Yeah, so yeah, I love this pick. My team's not that great so far, but I do love getting Dante Foreman in round 9, especially what he could mean to my team. Like I got 2 running backs. Like I need a running back there, and I love getting Dante Foreman. Now, if I'm able to get 2 or 3 more running backs in these later rounds, I'll be okay.
Yeah, that's great.
My team's not complete yet, though. It's close, though. Yeah, we got a couple people aboard the George Kittle hype train as well. I love it.
Golden Tate.
That's a bit early for him.
Yeah, it's a bit.
See, that's the perfect example of when I say like guys that are older and whatnot. I'd rather go for like Kiki Cutie was drafted 1 pick before, N'Keal Harry a couple picks before.
Yep.
I'd rather go crazy for that.
Right.
I'll get N'Keal Harry. I'll take 0 points, but N'Keal Harry could be an amazing wide receiver
He-
this year. He'll probably be in a year or two, but could be this year. So I'd rather take that risk. Kiki Cutie, if the guy you drafted, Will Fuller, goes down or anything happens, or even with
yeah,
Fuller
exactly.
playing, Kiki's still going to get his. I'd rather see,
Yeah,
I'd rather take a glimpse into the future and be wrong than to try to chase the past with Golden Tate. Amazing as a Detroit Lion, but after his Detroit Lion career, we don't know, man. The guy could just completely be irrelevant now.
exactly. Completely agree with you.
Smitty says the steals of the draft so far is a Darrell Henderson at 6.9, Kittle at 3.5, Aaron Rodgers at 5.12, Tevin Coleman 6.6, Baker at 7.4 exclamation mark, and Jalen Samuels 8.9.
Yeah, I thought about Jalen as the handcuff.
Oh yeah, I was definitely drafting him in round 9 if he fell. Oh, yeah, you got James Conner.
Yeah, there's a lion for you.
Dude, I am so high on TJ Hawkinson, but
I had to. I needed a
I
tight end.
gotta calm down and to just know that he is a rookie tight end. But oh my god,
Correct,
he might
correct.
just beast this year. Like I have him ranked as my 10th tight end. That's how high I am on his upside. That's why I ranked him.
No, yeah, I had to go for him. Oh man, this is a biased pick because he's an Eagle, but I want to see how
Sudfeld?
if he.
Oh, Tower.
I think honestly, so I saw what happened. He kind of fills that Jay Ajayi role.
Yeah, I like Miles Sanders though a lot.
I do, I
He
do, I
will
do.
be
And
in
that,
he won't be a true workhorse, at least not day one. Probably will never be this year.
there's no work, but there's no work. I
Yeah,
only
probably
know.
won't ever be a workhorse this year.
I thought about Damian Harris too. That was my
Oh
two. But I
yeah.
was like, it's an Eagle. I'll go with it.
Well, Jordan Howard, not big on him, but in round 10, that's okay. He goes round 8 sometimes, and let's be
Really?
accurate let's give him the exact ADP. Round 8.04. See, I know
There
fantasy.
you go. There you go. Almost like you do it for a living or something.
Yeah, and so like I am horrible at names and stuff, and so it was really tough to start YouTube with that. Um, but yeah, people don't, some people don't get it. Like my brain does work, just doesn't work for some stuff. And it's like I don't know Howard's ADP, but I live it so much that I I got an idea.
Yeah, you see it enough times.
Yeah, yeah. So I was right on this. So you get in them round 10s, totally cool.
Yeah, it was that's an Eagle pick.
Oh, it's my turn. You guys are drafting fast, which is kind of good.
TK Metcalf, he can run in a straight line. We'll see how he does laterally.
Yeah,
You like
I like his upside. He's not a starter at the moment per se, but he has to earn his way onto the top 3.
yeah, but I think he had one of the slowest shuttles at the shuttle.
Okay, so I made a whole video about that, and it's like his agility and all the cutting, like it is bad. Like there's no way around it. But it's just that people like to tweet about him more than others. Like, do you know like Adam Thielen's shuttle time?
I have no idea.
Or his 3-cone drill? Yeah, exactly. Like Megatron didn't run a 3-cone drill. Like no one was like, "What's his agility?" Like he's Megatron. Like
Yeah, I don't even. I haven't seen. I mean, those drills to me really don't really mean that much. I like looking at tape, because that is where you can see fluidity in game, especially
exactly.
like running breaks and all those things.
Exactly. And Metcalf, the film is not that great, and so that's why he's not a first round draft pick. But his quarterback, his O line, his offense, that sucked too. That shows on tape too. So it's a guess game with the Seahawks and Russell Wilson. Can he make it work? Maybe, maybe not. Huge boom or bust. So there's those two factors. His agility, the film's okay, but not great. And, he just wasn't used correctly. And it's just, we just don't know. Like, how about if he is used correctly? He could still suck. I think he'll be good. But it's like, that's pretty much a guess. And, yeah, man.
I mean, they have a huge need for him with Baldwin.
Yeah, Baldwin's gone. But what's crazy is someone who knows this. I think it was a beat writer or something saying I think Jerron Brown, David Moore, and Lockett are the starting three as of right now.
Yeah,
And it's kind of like I take it as he kind of guessed, but he's probably right too because I mean training camp isn't just starting. So, I believe that I think DK Metcalf will have to earn his way on the starting roster. So we'll see.
absolutely.
He fits perfectly in that Seattle offense though. I mean, I would just say like I think him and Russell Wilson can make sweet touchdown music, can make good big plays. I'll put it like that. I mean, I won't really say the perfect fit necessarily, but a good fit. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, with rookie wideouts, it does take them some time to acclimate, right?
Yeah, yeah, and actually, yeah, no, I take that. I think Sam is right because the way they play, Russell Wilson buys time forever. He's the best at that. He runs around. You think you got him, and then just look and throw to DK Metcalf. So I think it could work. Smitty's asking, what do you say? I missed it. Is Dr. Raj on our Hendy train too? He's talking about Daryl Henderson. Dr. Raj, you have a new girly knee prediction. So just basically, are you on Daryl Henderson? Are you on that hype train?
I'm on it. I mean, not as much as the Kettle train.
Yeah.
The Kittle train, excuse me.
I go Daryl Henderson in round 7, and I never get him there. So too many people are on that train. It's tough. It's tough for me to spend a 5 or 6 on Daryl Henderson. He's a he's a must handcuff though if you have Gurley. Like you gotta,
You have
or
to.
just
You
don't
have to.
draft Gurley. Better yet, I think that's better.
I would say that. Yeah, I don't see the point. I mean, I don't think I think they learned their lesson. We talked about this. They learned their lesson from last year with using Gurley during the year and then not having him available when they actually really needed him,
Yeah, it was
which is the
a little
playoffs.
awkward though because like you're up 3 touchdowns and you're like Gurley run the clock, Gurley run. Like they did that all the time because they demolished a lot of teams, and Gurley was
They did.
still running the ball, and it's like man, put in a backup. Like the dude is extremely valuable to your franchise.
I didn't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, yeah, I can say that and sound smart, but if I'm the coach at the, I'm trying to win, I can see where he came from. I believe Zeke does that too. It's not like they're taking Zeke out the game when they're up. They're like run the clock out. Let's get this W and go home. But the Cowboys are only up by 1 touchdown. Rams are up by 3 touchdowns.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's a difference.
And I mean, to me, the Rams have a better chance of being deeper in the playoffs last year, at least, than the Cowboys did. And so it's like you're playing for that Super Bowl.
Yeah, kind of like like a Steph Curry, like in basketball, LeBron. Like let's rest these players during the regular.
Yeah,
We need them during playoffs.
yeah. I mean, it's like Kawhi. Kawhi going to be the rest of his career. You got to manage him for when it matters.
Yeah.
Oh, Moncrief.
Sebastian asked how many rushing touchdowns Gurley will get. I said 6.5. He likes those specific. That's Sebastian. He likes those specific numbers. So I just gave him an exact one. Like I really know, but he thought it'd be more like 10. Let's call it 7. Let's say 7.
Mhm.
I'm just so I Gurley will be significantly limited, or he'll get hurt again. That's just how I
Yeah,
think.
I think they're going to manage him.
I don't want my running back in fantasy to be managed.
I agree.
I don't.
Especially if it's what's Gurley doing ADP? Where did he go right now?
Mid round 2.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Let me see his ADP because it's constantly changing. Gurley 2.05 used to be like 1.11, 1.10, I think. Maybe if we looked at this a month ago.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have picked him, like I said, to me, but that's with my background. I knew what was going on, and now they still haven't really talked about it, but
Oh yeah, and hey, if Sean McVay says something, you can pretty much assume it's 100% a lie and go with the opposite. That's how much of a liar Mr. McVay
he's
has been.
He's healthy. He's healthy.
Dude's like, oh, guys, wait till the Super Bowl. Todd Gurley's going to get 804 carries. Like, you guys heading over to Vegas or playing that one game Super Bowl DFS? Let me tell you guys what to do. Like, no, dude.
Bro.
Uh-oh.
All right, well,
You're on the
someone needs
clock.
to catch. Someone has to catch the ball in Pittsburgh.
Oh, that wide receiver 2 position in Pittsburgh. Maybe it will never be filled this year.
I'm hoping Juju is the one and the two.
The Saints did it last year without a wide receiver 2. They
Yeah,
almost went to the. Tell me who was a wide receiver 2 on the Saints last year. They had none.
Mara.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Of course, Kamara, and then Mike Thomas was the one. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know. I have no idea. I'm gonna pick this just you give me your opinion because I don't even know enough about the situation.
Oh yeah. It's not that good.
No. I honestly I don't. I picked it just so you could talk about it.
So I'm high on Damian Williams because of his upside. Because it starts off with Andy Reid, with Brian Westbrook, Andy Reid with Shady McCoy, Andy Reid with Jamal Charles. Then it was Kareem Hunt, and now it's Damian Williams. There's some risk that he may not be the starter the entire year, and very high risk for next year in terms of dynasty. But I think this year Damian has that potential to be a top 5 back, at least top 10, and just be that next guy, like Kareem Hunt. He's better than Kareem Hunt, I believe. Doesn't necessarily run those wide receiver routes like Kareem Hunt, but he can still he can still catch it though, and he can catch 7 passes a game. So I like him. Then we go with, okay, so who's the number 2? Because that has some value, and that's Carlos Hyde is kind of the number 2 right now, but it could be rookie Darwin Thompson. There's also another guy with almost the same name as Damian Williams named Darrell Williams, I think. So fantasy people accidentally added Darrell Williams sometimes. I always like those. I always like fantasy fails. So people pick up Darrell Williams instead of Damian Williams because they see D. Williams. There's also another Mike Thomas, guys. There's a Mike Thomas wide receiver on the Rams. Don't be fooled.
Yeah, make sure to check.
For those of you that play auction, watch out which Mike Thomas gets nominated.
That's always a good question.
You wouldn't pull that on your league mates, would you? Nominate Rams Mike Thomas?
That's a good one. I'm going to try it. Let's see what happens.
You have to do it early, though, because...
Oh, absolutely.
And you have to be stuck with him for $1, which is not the worst thing in the world.
No, it's not. Yeah, auction's a whole different animal.
Yeah, for sure.
I finally won our auction lead last year.
Feels good, huh? Get that weight lifted off your shoulders. Yeah.
I won like 2,500 too, which was nice.
Oh, real money league, huh?
Big money, yeah, big money. That's the lead. That's the big lead I've been in 20 years. I've won 5 times.
Oh, I thought you said you finally won, like it was your first.
No, I won the first time after going to auction.
Oh, okay, yeah. How long you guys been doing that league?
20 years. This is 20th year.
20 years.
Yeah.
That's an achievement on its own. Getting a group of guys to. It's a online though, right?
Yeah. These are my like good friends from middle school and high school. So we just still kick it to this day.
That's crazy. 20 years.
Yeah. We have like a plaque. We have a plaque with every champion on it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a good league.
Yeah, those are the best. Someone said, "Damn, 20 years."
Yeah.
We got a lot of people in here who have trouble with the 1 year. They're like, somebody quit. Like, what do I do? I'm like, hit me up on the Facebook group. We got plenty of people willing to join.
For real. Now, if you find a good core of like guys, and I mean, I know these guys in real life too, so it's different.
Yeah, that's the best. Yeah, and then especially like it's a requirement if you're doing Dynasty to have a good group of guys that are just gonna play and be cool.
No, absolutely.
Couch.
I mean, the hardest thing with
Go ahead.
So the hardest thing with an auction draft is just finding a time to do it for everyone.
How many people in your league?
And then we have a 14 team league right now.
14 team auction. That's a
Yeah,
3 hour extravaganza. That's what
it's
that is. That
it's
is a
real, man.
long
Yeah,
drafts. Oh
you
man.
got to carve out about you got to give yourself about 4 hours.
Yeah. Jeez. Dude, so it's closer to 4 hours. So see, my problem with auction is I have ADHD like really bad, but it to everyone it's different. Like I can edit a video 20 hours straight, barely eat.
Uh-huh.
Like I can edit a
Yeah,
video. But the auction I get like so I mean I can still do it, but it's like kind of torture in my head. There's like something like starts like that's how I describe. Something's like itching me in the back of my head. Then the itch turns into like this scratch, and then it's like torment after 2 hours, and it's just like when is this going to be over? I can't pay attention to this same draft for 4 hours.
what's tough is like when you're making like I do content, you're always engaged, right? Whereas the auction draft, I mean, it's not always. It kind of is, but like let's say you spend your money
Well, yeah.
early
If
or
you
whatever.
got your team's almost good to go. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, dude, I have to wait like an hour before I get my next guy. Like it's
Exactly.
out of control. Yeah. I still liked it though. I like the idea and actually like auction drafts. I just after an hour or two I'm just like it's just torture to me. So personal preference is snake. I still have respect for the auction. I still do them too because I'm intrigued by it. I like it. Just not the time it takes.
I agree. I think the one thing with like an auction, there's no excuse to say, "Oh, I had a crappy team because I picked
Yeah, you got
middle."
zero excuses. It's
Yeah,
all skill. It's all strategy.
exactly.
Zero basically zero luck when you're going in. Because
Yeah,
you nominate who you want. It don't matter who you nominate really. Like you get to pick, and yeah, you got full
exactly.
control.
No one to blame but yourself.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's what I like. So I absolutely love it the first 3 rounds. And then it's like, oh, I don't know, what am I doing? I gotta do I'll probably do a 10 team mock on the YouTube or maybe 12. Um, we usually do more like 10 just because it takes so long.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews went.
Oh, all right.
He's a good sleeper, man.
Yes, he is.
So
We're getting to the interesting now.
so I think he's good. I think the reason why he falls all the way is because can Lamar Jackson throw? And he can only
So
go
that
up
was the question.
from last year. But how I don't know how much better is he gonna be though? That's a question mark.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Live league since '02 on Yahoo. By live, do you mean like offline? I just want to clarify because offline that's even more impressive. You get more brownie points if you guys meet in real life because that's like so hard to do.
Impressed. Yeah, we did that a few times.
Me and my high school friends have been playing since 8th grade, and we just now graduated, going into our
Nice.
5th season together. Oh, he said, yeah, offline. Yep, that's impressive. That's you're gonna go on 20 years, sir.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
he
online.
asked when you guys switched to auction. Sam asked.
Then 5 years ago.
Okay. Greg Olson got sniped.
Got him. Oh man. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. We got. What? Jeez. Should I do? How this Jags D was not that great last year though. I'm loading up on these running backs. Yeah, let's go for it.
People are
What's your
asking
normal?
what was the reason you guys switched to auction.
I think what you just talked about was because it's an even playing field. No matter what, you can't complain about. Oh, I had the first pick, or I was on at the end. So, in this case, now everyone has the same ability on every pick. So, all the you can't blame something else.
And basically, if you're spending over $100 buy-in, a lot of people lean more towards auction because
Yeah,
things getting serious. So let's have full control
I mean
of
ours
what's
is
going
three
on.
fifty.
Yeah, that's a serious buy-in.
Yeah, exactly. So
So real quick team review on your team. I actually like all your positions except running back. I think you're really
it's weak.
struggling there. But everything else I kind of like. You know how I felt about your tight end, but then like I'm still like I love the upside with Hawkinson so much that if you're able to like if you got him with Mark Andrews, I think that would have been amazing because that's one of my sleepers. I think you need a tight end too to kind of just in
Yep.
case he is a
Yep.
rookie, he is a lion. I don't even know what that means.
Exactly.
I don't know what does that mean? He's a lion. Lions suck, but I mean, it doesn't mean that he's gonna suck.
Never. I know. I know. There's too many Lions I've put my faith into, and they just never deliver.
Top three most cursed
Other
NFL
than my
franchise though. They're on my top three list.
exactly.
Ooh, Rock Armstead.
I
Hello.
mean,
Wow.
my running back situation is basically relying on someone getting hurt.
Well, yeah. And I mean, I'm not big on
That's why I have
Drake
six.
and Freeman. Like you got Freeman
I
at a
know.
cool spot, but yeah, the James Conner. I don't like. You gotta get my boy Mixon,
I
man.
probably should. I was gonna say I should have gone with Mixon,
Mixon is so
or even
talented.
honestly, even Damien would have been a good pick right there.
Too early for Damian for me.
There's a,
But I'm high on Damian Williams though.
I mean, if Dalvin was healthy, I would have. If he don't have it, if he had a clean bill of health last year, or if it was a different injury,
Yeah.
I would have even maybe gone with Dalvin there.
Dalvin's a complete package. He's on the right team
Yeah.
with the right system. He can catch. He can run.
Yep.
He can do the short yardage. The big
Health.
playability. He's got it all.
It's just health.
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah, dude.
Come
When I
on.
went to go film Mixon, like this dude, like he's compared to Le'Veon Bell, but he's really like David Johnson to me, and
Yeah.
David Johnson's way more like David Johnson's kind of an ideal kick returner. Mixon's not a return like he's not a return man type, because David Johnson used to return kicks very well, but
He's a little more shifty
Mixon's
with
a
those kick
better,
returns,
probably
right? You got to have
better
really.
better running back though. So David Johnson could be more athletic and more like just quicker in the open field. But Mixon, I think he's a truer running backs. David Johnson, you got to kind of use as a wide receiver and split him out and not run him up the gut. I think Mixon can do it all, and so that's why his comparison to Bell is fair. But just when I'm like looking at him in person, he looks more like a David Johnson build to me, and just like the way he plays receiver just looks more like David Johnson. And I was like, man, this guy, all he worked on all day was, I mean, he did some running back and foot dribble, but he just like he was basically working on receiving skills all day, which makes sense. I feel like running backs, like if you got to be a naturally good runner to be running back, like, and that's like a check. And that's fairly an easy task.
Right.
As far as a lot of other tasks go for NFL players, like quarterback, for instance, like most rookies are like, what am I doing? And so they just working on, catching the ball. That's how he's going to get the money anyway, from his receiving skills. Because anybody
No,
can run nowadays.
I mean that's what sets you apart, right?
Yeah, well, it's required. If you want to get a paycheck and you want to get on the field and get snaps, you have to be able to catch. And that's why Adrian Peterson was the last great running back that is not going to have a ton of catches. And now it's a straight up requirement. Running backs need to work on their receiving
Hands.
skills. Yeah, they've got to work
Yeah.
on their hand. And even now, running routes now, like Kamara, like this man runs real wide receiver routes, and that's going to be more of almost a necessity in the near future.
Man, it just gives you so much positional versatility, especially with the schemes you now see in the NFL.
Oh yeah, it's a passing league. And it's people have
Yeah,
been saying that for nearly 10 years now, so it's like more so now.
exactly. All right, come on, peeps.
Wait, oh, dude, you didn't tell. I don't know what the heck's going on. Let's pause. All teams complete. Waiting for commish.
What?
Oh,
Mine's still going.
Oh, mine doesn't have the clock. I just got to refresh. It's probably a glitch.
Okay.
Okay, it's going fine. I just got to refresh
you're
it.
good.
Oh, let me hit refresh. I'm not able to draft. Hold up. I'm trying. I know who I want to draft to. Come on. There we go. Did it work? It worked.
Debo?
Yeah.
Solid.
Oh, you got the Jags D? Yeah, I like them. Top 3 defense.
Yeah. Figured out that point.
I also figure Foles should help out the defense.
He will.
Like it
he
does
will.
often. You know, we saw when Garoppolo went to the Niners and their defense got better those last 5 games.
I mean, think about it, right? When your offense is better, you're not playing from behind all the time. You can actually game plan a little better defensively.
I think there's 3 reasons. 1, you're not playing from behind. 2, you're not tired because your defense isn't out there all the time. And 3, these are humans we're talking about. It sucks when Blake Bortles goes out there and just ruins your entire season. Like, you really want to go out there and put your body out in the, and get hit all the time and, play at 100%. Like, you're like, man, I don't want to do this. Can't wait till next year. Can we get a real quarterback, please?
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Yeah, so it's gonna like Jimmy G came to the Niners those last 5 games. Like that team was just on fire. Everyone was loving it. Everyone was happy. It was just a different energy. Like not different, like 180. Like it was so different. Right when he came in, it went night to day, like day and night. Like it was crazy.
And that's why playing on a good team changes everything, right?
Yeah. Odell Beckham maybe changes him.
We'll see. Oh, he's produced pretty well even without that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he must not have been too happy on the Giants.
Yeah, he can't. I mean, how could you be?
Yeah, and he's probably going to be, pretty happy on the Browns. At least excited with Baker and Jarvis, and they got a lot of players.
Should I do this combo season?
Jimmy Graham. Ugh. Broken goods.
But we don't see. That's a bit, dude. Round 15, I need a tight end.
Yeah, you do. And for you, Chris Herndon wouldn't work because he's suspended 4 games, and you kind of want a tight end that you can try to at least start the first couple games because you have Hawkinson's a rookie.
Yep. This could be an interesting. I'm gonna wait on that. Let's see. Let's see. I thought about Goddard too. It's my boy.
Yeah, Goddard's super dope. It's just maybe not the best to pair with Hawkinson though.
Yeah, I mean, you need someone who might. Graham, we'll see, but it's high. I mean, considering at 15.
Well, that's the thing with Goddard. You don't want to start him week 1.
No, absolutely
and
not.
Jimmy Graham, at least you'll start. Even though I don't like Jimmy Graham, that's okay.
But it's also, I mean, it's round 15.
Let me see. There's not really any tight ends. Ooh. See, Rudolph, I don't like either. What about the homie Jason Witten?
Yeah,
it's so boring. No one drafts him, man. It's nobody.
Thought about it.
He'll still be okay this. It's just like the upside is not there this year. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you feel about Fant?
That's a cool one. I mean, I just don't know if you really could go top 2 rookie tight ends. That would be crazy. Yeah, like this is the time to draft Fant, round 15. Even a little earlier than where you're at, like early round 15. Like, yep. I'll take Fant if Hawkinson's already taken. I like Hawkinson way more. So one reason I like Hawkinson, and he's like better blocker, but that's what's Hawkinson's going to be on the field 100%. Not saying Fant won't. Like, he'll probably will be on the field, but I have way more guarantee that Hawkinson will be on the field. When you're on the field, you learn better, you gel more, and you'll probably end up running more routes, regardless if you're there to block or not. I need people out on the field, and I know Hawkinson would be that guy. The Flacco to Fant, sure, that's cool. I know Flacco throws to his tight ends. He's not that good. Just not as appealing to me. But Fant does have the upside, though.
I agree. I mean, for me, the Joku pick kind of screwed up my whole draft.
Yeah. Well, now you know you gotta
go a little
tight end. Yeah. Once you smell that OJ Howard, Evan Ingram going, like, that's when you know the tight end run is coming hard. It's like, oh man.
I thought I might give back because both McDonald and Joku were there, so I thought maybe it'll swing back around. I missed it by 2 picks.
Greg the leg, you guys are slipping.
Gotta love it. Oh, here come the kickers.
So, guys, people are going to ask me for team grades. So, what we're going to do, I have to run. I don't want to keep Dr. Raj on much longer. What I will do for you, I will post the draft results, take a screenshot of this, and do my team grades on my website. That's fantasycouch.com. Make sure you bookmark it if you never heard of it. fantasycouch.com. We will do team grades on there. I'll just give each person's team grade. If I have time, maybe even a quick synopsis, because I really appreciate you guys, and you guys do ask for team grades. But yeah, thank you so much for everyone tuning in. We're wrapping this draft up. We made it 17 rounds. I made a boop. I should have made this. I don't even know why it's 17 rounds. Whatever. We'll do 17. We'll do the whole 17.
Almost there.
Yeah, we're almost done. But yeah, I will put the results and the draft board and the team grades on my website, fantasycouch.com. People are amazed by Will Lutz's spelling. It is W-I-L. That is correct.
Gotta love it. All right, there we go. Come on. Who should I take? Mr. Irrelevant. Let's see.
Well, you could take a kicker, but I don't think you're required to.
Nah, you're not.
No, I only take a kicker and stuff, like, just so, like, it looks better when we're doing.
I like that.
But in my real drafts, if I don't have to take a kicker or defense, sometimes I don't take either, and just handcuff a player or something.
Right. I mean, unless you have like an elite tier in that regard, right? Because most of those
they're usually taken, man, and I usually don't even see. Look at the problem with Greg Zuerlein is he might get hurt again. He may not be the kicker number 1, which I know that's like normal stuff. On top of that, though, if I need on his bye week, I really don't want to drop him. If I have a kicker like Kaimi Fairbairn, I'll drop him. I don't care. And then so essentially 1 week you're gonna have 2 kickers, and so that's why I sometimes don't draft a kicker. And on Yahoo you don't need to. On Sleeper I don't think you do, but on like ESPN I think makes you draft.
Oh really?
I think you have to fill your roster spots. And on my league that we have offline, I tell people you have to fill your roster spots. I mean, you can drop some, but it's just like, look, I just want it to look cleaner because we film it. That's essentially why.
Makes sense. Makes sense to me.
Oh, it's my turn. Oh, the noises are off. That's why. I will draft a defense. And it will be the Bills because of their easy schedule first few games. And I will stream. That's what we're doing. Oh, yeah, for sure. I knew you guys would want to do a mock, so I had to try to do one. And everyone, make sure you go follow Dr. Raj. I'll type it in the chat too, at 3CB Performance.
That's me.
That's him on Twitter and Instagram. If you have not yet, make sure you guys go check out the Instagram Experts draft video. I do it every year. It's one of the biggest fantasy football videos, period. That's all. Let me give a link.
Yeah.
Dude, the one I did in 2017 got 118,000 views or something.
Nice.
It's crazy, yeah.
All right, come on. Got 2 guys queued up. Let's go.
Cooper, I will not do team grades on the live stream. I gotta run. Dr. Raj has to go.
Dude.
But I will do team grades on my website. I will post this later today, probably in a couple hours. It's fantasycouch.com. I'm going to write that here. Team grades and results, fantasycouch.com. I will
That's
put
it.
that there. Raj just picked it. There we did it, guys. 12 team mock draft. Dr. Raj, thank you so much for hopping on the podcast.
Yeah, man. Thanks for inviting me.
All right, guys, with that, we're going to end it. Make sure you guys subscribe to both YouTube channels, Fantasy Couch Podcast. Hit that like if you enjoyed it, dislike if you didn't. Make sure you follow Dr. Raj at 3CB Performance. Peace.